Hey there, John Gibson here in my backyard, right with my kids' little playground right now. And I actually got the road right behind me. You can see vehicles driving by, so it might be a little noisy. So hopefully you guys can hear me. But I want to talk to you more about some information on how to lose weight with PCOS, how to take care of yourself and really see the results you want to see. You see, the whole weight loss industry is just totally screwed up right now. And they've actually been screwed up for decades and probably centuries, who knows. But the information that I see touted and thrown out and given as legit information tends to be bogus information that people are just kind of throwing together, okay? They don't have the research to support it. They're just making up things, claims to get you to buy more of their stuff, more of their supplements, their shakes, their powders, potions, whatever you want to call it, right? Now, I want to give you some more information, but before I get into that, if you want a more in-depth training in what I do to help women with PCOS get the weight off and keep it off forever, go ahead and go to fatextractionmethod.com. Again, that's fatextractionmethod.com. Go there. There's a video you can watch that will go into all the detail of what I do to help people lose weight, the step-by-step plan that I follow, and how I can help you. Okay, now let me get into this. So there's a question that I get quite a bit, and I want to kind of address this because my response to this question is not what you would expect, right? The question is, what food should I eat and what food should I avoid to be able to lose the weight I want to lose with PCOS? Now, my goal when I work with somebody is not a short-term quick fix, right? I could go to you and I could list off foods to avoid, and if like, okay, no soda, no chocolate, no candy, no whatever, I could list all those foods off. And what would happen is if you follow that, you'd probably see some results. But the truth of the matter is this: you would want chocolate, you would want a soda, you would want some of these things, right? And if you ever gave into them, you'd feel like a failure and you'd want to give up. That's not what long-term success is. Something I always tell my clients is this: I want you to make mistakes. I want you to screw up throughout the week, go off the plan, all those things, because that's what life looks like. Life is going to have birthday parties. Life is going to have, holidays and things like that. So how do we work with those things to be able to make sure that you see success? And so here's what I do, okay? There are no bad foods. There are no foods that should be taken off your list, okay? You can have anything. With the ladies I work with, the ladies I coach, you literally can eat anything. And what I'll do, I'm actually going to put up an image right now of a post. Someone who jumped in the program just a couple days ago, and she was a little concerned. She has PCOS, and she's like, I've tried everything, nothing works for me. Have any of you ever seen results with this? And everyone in there, everyone who commented on there at least, was sharing their success that they've been having while eating chocolate, while eating the things that are supposed to be the bad foods, right? So go ahead and check that out real quick and see what some of their comments look like. Now, let's get back into really, to me, what makes long-term success, okay, for weight loss and for everything like that, especially with PCOS. And that involves eating just about everything, okay? Now, I do follow a little framework things, and I'm going to use an acronym, TAG, T-A-G, okay? TAG stands for timing, the timing of the food. The timing. Oh my goodness, gotta get it right. Yeah, the timing of the food. The second is the amount of food. And the third is your genetics, okay? So timing, amount, and genetics. And I look at those things when I'm working with somebody to make sure that we're helping them lose the weight they want to lose, okay? So let's talk about the first one, the timing of the food. Now, if you have PCOS, chances are you are also dealing with insulin resistance, okay? It's just a fact of the matter with PCOS, something we want to make sure we address and we're working around. Now, if you have insulin resistance, having carbohydrates flippantly throughout the day, all day long, that can cause some problems, okay? What that will do is it actually makes it easier for your body to store fat, and so we want to make sure that what we're doing is we're working with your insulin and doing things to actually help support your insulin, okay? That's why your doctor typically puts people on like metformin or things like that. That's why some people take things like either berberine or myo-inositol or chiro-inositol, those in combination. But there's several different things that people may do, okay? if you're dealing with insulin resistance, you don't want to just eat carbs anytime you want to, okay? So with the timing of things, I have different categories of foods that I'll say are anytime foods and sometime foods. Anytime foods are going to be your lean meats and your vegetables, okay? Eat those whenever you want. I don't care. Night, morning, snacks, anytime you want, have your lean meats and your vegetables, okay? Now, sometime foods, those, and some are going to be sometimes once per day, some are going to be sometimes once or twice per week, and some are, on the rarely thing. But again, I don't say eliminate them completely out of your diet, okay? So carbohydrates and things like that, we want to have timing wise around exercise. So sometime within about a 1, 2, maybe even 3 hour window after exercise. So once you exercise, as soon as you finish that workout, your body handles carbohydrates a lot better. So now you wait for, you go and have your carbs right away, or you can wait 30 minutes, eat your carbs then, or you can wait an hour, eat your carbs then, and your body can handle that without the need of insulin, or at least not as much of a need. The further away from your workout you go, the more you need insulin. The closer to your workout you are, the less you need insulin, okay? So have your carbohydrates around when you're exercising, okay? So that's the timing thing. Want to make sure that we're having carbs around our exercise, okay? Now, the A, right? The A in TAG is amount. Yes, amount matters, okay? I will talk to someone and I get people upset with me saying, how can you say that someone can have chocolate when they're trying to lose weight? Well, I'm not saying to go out and eat like a pound of chocolate. What I'm saying is you can have chocolate every once in a while, okay? If you want to have a candy bar, maybe once or twice per week, right? How much are you having? How big is that candy bar? Is it a king size? Is it, one of the little mini ones? If you're having a little square of like a Hershey's chocolate once per night, that's not, if you're not seeing success, there's no way I'd look at the chocolate and go, that's the problem, okay? There's gonna be other things that are gonna be in there. So we need to look at the amount of food you're having with some of these, the anytime foods versus the sometime foods. And that's gonna play an important context here. So, example, one of my favorite treats, Oreos, right? Well, if I have a whole sheath or a whole row of Oreos every single night, that's a problem. If I have one Oreo every single night, not much of a problem really, okay? Sodas. If you have one 12-ounce can of soda every single day, I'd probably say maybe we should not have it that often, right? Maybe once per week or something like that. But if you're having multiple sodas per day, then yes, the amount of soda you're drinking needs to come down, okay? So again, we need to make work on the timing. We need to work on the amount of food you're having, not necessarily throwing foods out completely, right? Okay, the last one is genetics. Now, with genetics, what I mean by this is, people run around saying that gluten is a bad thing and everyone needs to get rid of gluten. Well, if we go and test everyone for gluten intolerance, most people are going to be totally fine. Okay, some people, yes, are going to have some issues, but most people are going to be totally fine. So I'm not going to run around and make a blanket statement on everyone that you have to go gluten-free. Or dairy, again, dairy is another bad rap. Most people do okay with dairy. Some people, not so well. Okay, I personally am one that doesn't do very well with dairy. My entire family doesn't do very good with dairy. But I'm still not going to be one that runs around and says, hey, dairy is the worst thing in the world, you should avoid it, right? Because some people do very good with dairy. So it depends on you. Okay, we could go on with other things that people tend to say that we need to completely eliminate. But the best thing to do is literally go out and get a test. Go to your doctor, get an allergy test, get a food sensitivity test. Find out what your genetics do. Because there was this interesting, years ago, I was in grad school at the time, and I went to a forum or whatever you want to call it, where you go and you would listen to presenters, researchers come and talk about their research they're doing. Okay, well, this researcher was studying cancer research, and he came in and he goes, okay, guess what? Blueberries, blueberries are good, right? Blueberries are healthy, they're great for everybody, right? And he goes, wrong. Okay, there's a small group of people with certain genetic code that blueberries are actually a link to causing cancer. When we have them eat blueberries, it actually turns on certain cancer genes. Okay, not just, they ate blueberries and look, we see some cancer growing. They can actually see the genes for those cancers are turning on. Okay, so are blueberries good for everybody? No, for some people they're not. Okay, so we need to make sure we understand that. So go get tested. Go get a food allergy test or a sensitivity test and find out what's going on with you. Now, my wife did this. Okay, again, my wife has PCOS and we've done a lot of these things with her. So we went and got her food allergy test done. What did we find out? Well, she has a pretty strong gluten and sensitivity. So do we avoid gluten in our house? No, we don't, because we actually avoided it for 6 months, saw no difference in her health whatsoever. So we said, whatever. Okay, what's the point in trying to avoid it if we're not going to see any improvements in her health? Okay, dairy, dairy was an issue. Well, dairy is one thing that we don't necessarily avoid it, but we do limit it in our house. Okay, another one for her was really interesting, was sesame seed. okay? But what we found is when she consumes something with sesame seed, whether it's sesame seed oil or sesame seeds itself, the next day she has horrible, horrible headaches, okay? So we have eliminated sesame seed from her diet. Would I have known that before? Am I gonna run around telling everyone you gotta avoid sesame seed? No, okay? That was her sensitivity. Another one, eggs, I think was another important one of hers. So she does avoid eggs. When she doesn't consume eggs or something with eggs in it, she actually can't function very well the next day beyond PCOS. This is related to some other conditions she has also. So those are, eggs and sesame seeds are some things she avoids now. We've tried dairy, we limit. Gluten, we tried it. We tried eliminating it, didn't change anything. What's the point in avoiding gluten, right? Okay, so remember those things. Do you have to completely eliminate a food from your diet? No, not necessarily, okay? My wife does have eggs every once in a while. She does have sesame seed every once in a while. She pays for it. She knows that. But she knows what she's doing when she has it. She goes, I'll pay for it tomorrow, but I want it today, okay? If you're okay with that, go for it. Just remember T.A.G, okay? The timing of your food is important. Carbohydrates, keep closer to exercise. The amount of food you're eating is definitely important, okay? Your anytime foods, those ones tend to be, eat as much as you want. Vegetables, lean proteins, go for it. If we're getting into fatty proteins, we want to make sure we're keep that under control. But lean proteins, go for it, right? And then the last one is your genetics, okay? Go get tested, find out what you should avoid. Or if you want to, try an elimination diet. Just try avoiding some of those things. See if you feel better. Don't eliminate a bunch all at once. Just eliminate one. Or if you want to do a true elimination diet, I guess you would eliminate everything and then slowly add in one thing at a time. Okay, but that's for another day. Okay, hope that'll make sense. If you have any questions, let me know. Go check out fatextractionmethod.com. I'll talk to you later.